So let us start somewhat revision of earlier concepts and then we will just go ahead. Today we'll see ferroelectric materials, but before considering ferroelectric materials, I would like to just revise a few concepts again. Because there are a number of conceptual things in this unit and you have to remember distinct differences between the different terms, definitions, formulas. So I will request you just start drawing means your memory maps. So now polarization we have discussed. Can you tell me what is polarization, student? Student, can you tell me what is polarization?
Total number of dipole moments per unit volume.
Okay. Can you see my PPT now? Polarization definition.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now let us revise what we have misunderstood with the polarization. So polarization is defined as the definite orientation of dipole moments in a material due to the applied electric field. But if you will use definite orientation, I think this is more suitable for orientational polarization. Okay, so you can just say, I think you need to correct this definition. Polarization is just creation of dipole moments. Okay, and it can be defined as total number of dipole moments per unit volume also. So dear students, write down just this formula because I'm going to tell you some another concepts. Polarizability we have not discussed yesterday because I wanted to cover polar, non-polar material and types of polarization because one activity was framed for yesterday and that activity portion I covered first. The polarizability I want to discuss today. You just write down polarization in your notebook. You write down polarization P is equal to number of dipole moments into small p, or I have already told you instead of small p you can write down mu. Okay, so total number of dipole moments in is total number of you can say molecules per unit volume. You have to consider polarization when you are considering. You have to consider n is number of molecules per unit volume and p is dipole moment. And also p is equal to epsilon 0, epsilon e. This is xi, or you can say this is xi. I could not write down that symbol correctly. So P is equal to epsilon 0 xi e or polarizity into E. Okay, this xi E is known as electric susceptibility. So I think you have seen what is meant by susceptibility. Now let us discuss today one definition has remained from previous lecture, polarizability. Now see, name only implies it is polarization ability. So if you will consider two materials, in one material polarization may be more, in another material polarization may be small. So you can say that first material is having good polarizability. So the ability of material you can say to become polarized is good. So how you will say polarizability due to external applied electric field to a dielectric materials. Because whenever we apply external applied field, then what is happening in the material, that only we are discussing. Okay. So due to external applied electric field to a dielectric material causes a displacement of electric charges. Now what type of displacement of electric charges we have considered in electronic polarization? That is the displacement of positive charge center and revolving electron center. So in electronic polarization, displacement of the center of positive charge and center of negative charge happens. And in case of ionic polarization, what displacement occurs? Displacement between positive ion and negative ion. Earlier it will be there in ionic material. It has earlier means displacement is there, but that displacement will increase. So in ions, positive negative ions, displacement will increase. So that electric charges displacement occurs when electric field is applied and giving rise to the creation or reorientation of dipole moments. Why reorientation? Because whatever dipole moments will exist in ionic material, we have taken example of CO2, H2O, NO2. So in that covalent bonds, they are originated in particular fashion. But when electric field is applied, their orientation will change, reorientation. So that is the ability. You can say the material ability to reorient the dipole moments or to displace the electric charges. So we can say that is polarization. And the average dipole moment P is proportional to electric field strength E. It is natural. Dipole moment will be proportional to applied electric field. That also we have seen. Why? Because if you will apply electric field more and more, dipole moments will go on creating more and more. Polarization will also go on increasing. So you can say dipole moments are proportional to E. Dipole moments small p are proportional to applied electric field intensity, and that proportionality constant is alpha. Okay, and this proportionality factor alpha is called as polarizability. So what is polarizability? It is the ability, simple meaning, ability of the material to get polarized. Okay, and therefore you can say alpha will be equal to P upon E. P is dipole moment. So remember this formula, write down in your notebook. So polarizability is equal to dipole moments upon E. Okay. So it is defined as the electric liability. So polarizability is the electric liability of the particles to induce dipole moments with the applied electric field strength. It can be defined as induced dipole moment per unit electric field strength. So induced dipole moments per unit volume is polarization, and induced dipole moment per unit electric field, this formula. Induced dipole moment per unit electric field strength is polarizability, and its unit is farad meter square. So that you have just gone through the question in the quiz. Okay. Now combining equation 7, 8, 9. Polarizability will be equal to polarization divided by any. How it will happen? Just you can see. See here, dipole moment is equal to polarizability into E, and before that total polarization is equal to number of molecules into P. So this small p value you can put it here, or you can say small p, dipole moment will be equal to polarization divided by N. So I already told you, write down this in book. So P dipole moment will be equal to polarization per unit volume, or P upon N. Okay. So you just put it that here. So in this formula, you just put it dipole moment is equal to what? Dipole moment is equal to this total P upon N. So here capital P upon N will be there, and alpha will be equal to this. Alpha will be equal to P upon N. Now that is equal to epsilon 0 psi E upon N. Now that we will see. So to understand this relationship between your polarizability, this is polarizability and this is permittivity. Now you are familiar with permittivity. Now we will see what is the relationship between permittivity, relative permeability and polarizability. So you know permittivity, you know permeability, you know this is permittivity, relative permittivity. Permeability will be for magnetic material. So when you will use mu r, that will be relative permeability, and here epsilon r means relative permittivity. So what is the relationship between permittivity and polarizability? You remember this. Okay, so polarizability is relative permittivity minus 1. Now how it is coming to understand that? Here polarization meaning you have to understand in different way. So now see, when you are considering in absence of electric field, there will be no polarization. But when you will place such a material where polarization is 0 in presence of applied electric field, then polarization creates. So you can say that polarization measures additional flux density. Why additional flux density? Because when electric field intensity or voltage you will not apply, flux density will be less. But when you will apply electric field intensity, flux density will be increased. So polarization measures additional flux density, increase in the flux density arise from the presence of material, okay, as compared to free space. So you consider the electrode, and in electrode you just consider free space, and you just replace that free space by some another material. Then you will understand that increase in the flux density is there. Why the flux density increases when you changes material from free space to some another material? Due to the increase in flux density. Why flux density will increase? Due to polarization phenomenon. You have understood what happens between electric field is absent. When electric field is absent, how dipole moments are there, how charges are there. But when electric field is applied, how polarization is created. In the same way, you can just imagine when free space is there will be no dipole moments, and when that free space you will replace by some another material, then dipole moments will be created. So therefore flux density will increase, and their increase in flux density is due to polarization. So D we are using symbol as flux density. So we can say that D is equal to epsilon 0 E. This formula you know. So epsilon 0 is the free space permittivity. So when you are considering free space, your flux density will be simply epsilon 0 into E. Now, when you are considering flux density in the material, it will be original free space flux density plus due to polarization. So this formula is there, and with this formula, you can come to this relationship. Okay, so DE, you know, D is equal to what when you are considering flux density in case of material, when it is not free space, that is, you know, conventional epsilon 0, epsilon RE. So where it is epsilon R is the permittivity of that material. So D will be equal to epsilon 0, epsilon RE. But we are considering D in terms of polarization also. What was before there without polarization? This was there without polarization, and this is due to polarization. So you just add it. Okay. Now P, you can find out P now. So if you will consider this equation, P will be equal to epsilon 0 into E will be common. So you can just take epsilon 0 E common, and then in bracket it will be epsilon R minus 1. Okay, so P is equal to epsilon 0 into bracket epsilon R minus E. But we know that polarization P is equal to epsilon 0, epsilon E, this xi E into E. So you can just consider, therefore you can just substitute here P is equal to epsilon 0 xi E into E. So xi E is equal to xi, compare this. Xi E is equal to epsilon R minus E. So susceptibility, you can say permeability, polarizability is equal to relative permittivity minus 1. So that I want to tell you. Now we have seen in last lecture polar and non-polar materials also. So that way you have understood polar material means what? In absence of electric field, what happens in polar material? And in presence of electric field, what happens in polar material, non-polar materials? So already when charges are displaced, when already dipole moments are exist, such a materials are called as polar material. But polarization may not be there. That depends upon the resultant of that dipole moments. And resultant of that dipole moments may be 0. But in case of polar materials, you will get that permanent dipole moments exist in absence of electric field also. And in non-polar materials, center of positive charge, negative charge will be coincident, and there will be no dipole moment. So that you have understood. Now Supriya had done her activity on this polar and non-polar materials. That I wanted to show it again, because that time you may not have understood in clear cut what she did it. Now you just utilize again what she did.
Good morning, everyone. Let me begin by introducing myself. My name is Supriya Darade from SC Electrical class. I am giving this presentation under the guidance by Dr. Dhain ma'am. My topic for presentation is polar and non-polar dielectric material. I have taken this topic for activity number 13 from Unit 1 of Material Science syllabus. I would like to give you a brief outline of my presentation. Firstly, dielectrics. Then there are two types, polar dielectrics and non-polar dielectrics. Polar term, polar molecule, non-polar term, non-polar molecule, and difference between polar and non-polar dielectric material. Dielectrics. Dielectrics is also called insulators or non-conducting material. There are two types of dielectric, polar and non-polar. Dielectric are the material which do not allow electricity to flow within them but show electric effect. That is, they have additional property of that they show electric effect. All dielectrics are insulators, but all insulators are not dielectric. Purpose of dielectric. When dielectric is filled between the plates of capacitor, its capacity increases. This is dielectric material placed between capacitor's plates. In dielectric material, they have atoms or molecule having positive and negative charges. When electric field is applied, then negative charges will attract to positive and positive will attract to negative. Because of this rotation, negative and positive layer created, and this will create self-induced electric field. This is called polarization. Polar dielectrics. What is term polar? Having dipole moment or net dipole moment. That is, there is separation between positive and negative charge. What is polar molecule? Those molecules which have net dipole moment in absence of electric field. Let us look at few examples. HCl. HCl is polar molecule because H plus, center of mass of H plus is here and center of mass of Cl minus is here. There is separation between H plus and Cl minus, therefore they have dipole moment in absence of electric field. Therefore HCl is polar molecule. In H2O, the center of mass of O minus is here and center of mass of both H plus will be here. Therefore there is separation between negative and positive charges, therefore they have dipole moment in absence of electric field. Therefore H2O is polar molecule. Here dipole moment direction is from negative to positive, and here also dipole moment direction is from negative to positive.
So you can see here resultant of this direction will be somewhat here. So the resultant is existing, net means here it will not get cancelled. So therefore net dipole moment is existing.
They have asymmetrical shape. Here you can see H plus and Cl minus have different shape. Therefore polar molecule have asymmetrical shape. Polar dielectrics. A molecule in which the center of mass of positive charges do not coincide with the center of mass of negative charges when no external field is applied is called polar molecule. A substance made of polar molecule is known as polar substance. Examples are HCl, H2O, NH2, NaCl. Non-polar dielectrics. What is term non-polar? Net dipole moment is zero. There is no separation between positive and negative charges. What is non-polar molecule? Those molecules which have net dipole moment is equal to zero in absence of electric field. Let us look at some examples. H2. H2 is non-polar molecule because the center of mass of both H plus is here and therefore there is no separation between positive and negative charge. There is no dipole moment. Therefore H2 is non-polar molecule. In CO2, center of mass of C plus is here and center of mass of both O minus is here. That is coincide on the center of mass of C plus. Therefore CO2 is non-polar molecule. They have symmetrical shape. Here, both H plus have symmetrical shape, and in CO2 also, both O and C have symmetrical shape. Non-polar dielectrics. A molecule in which the center of mass of positive charges coincide with the center of mass of negative charges when no external field is applied is called non-polar molecule. A substance made of non-polar molecule is known as non-polar substance. For example, CO2, H2 and N2, as we have seen in previous slides. Now, let's see difference between polar and non-polar dielectrics. Polar dielectrics are polar compounds that cannot conduct electricity. Non-polar dielectric are non-polar compounds that cannot conduct electricity. Without external field, they have dipole moment or net dipole moment in polar dielectrics. Without external field, net dipole moment is 0 in non-polar dielectrics. No symmetrical shape is in polar dielectrics. They have symmetrical shape in non-polar dielectrics. Examples of polar dielectrics are HCl, H2O, NH2, NaCl. Examples of non-polar dielectrics are CO2, H2 and N2.
Students, what you just forget while comparison, I will tell you.
NH.
Now here in the comparison, she has explained and I have also explained earlier. This is just revision going on because I don't want to just move on in a fast speed. You have to understand completely. That's why I'm going slowly and revisions are taking. So here when you are writing comparison, you are not getting full marks because now see here you can add figures. Now figures are there, explanations are there, applications you can write down. So try to learn writing comparison, and if you will remember this chapter in comparison form, I think that will be better way. So you complete your memory map with comparison and do add figures and applications, means number of pictorial representations you have to add it. Okay, means you can draw figures in absence of electric field and in presence of electric field, both. Okay, so that I wanted to say. Otherwise, for this comparison you will get half mark. So for it is asked for 2 marks, you will get 1 mark. If it is asked for 4 marks, you will get 2 marks. So try to remember to draw diagrams for the comparison also.
To NaCl.
Okay, so that was the good revision by
material.
Supriya's activity for
Good morning everyone.
Non-polar material. So already I told this difference to you, but here figures are not drawn. It doesn't mean that you should not draw it. Okay, so contest was also there. I show you the video for polarization also. Now we'll just see ferroelectricity. Okay, otherwise I can take ferroelectricity, piezoelectricity, pyroelectricity in one lecture, but I don't want to move fast. Okay, so we'll go slowly. So this polarization types we have studied what was mentioned in syllabus: ionic polarization, electronic polarization, and orientation polarization. But space charge polarization is not mentioned in syllabus, but I want to tell you. Now we have seen electronic polarization due to splitting of positive charge center and negative charge center. Then ionic polarization due to splitting of ions, the increasing distance between the ions. And orientational polarization means directions of dipole moments will change it. But there is also space charge polarization. Now name only implies what is it. So if you will consider any crystal structure or molecular structure, in the molecular structure there are atoms, positive ion atom, atom is there, positive charge is there, revolving electrons are there, but interstitial positions means between atom to atom some trapped charges are there. Already some charges are there due to trapping of the charges inside the material structure. So when such a charges will just go on increasing due to the application of electric field, because when you will apply electric field, the interstitial charges will go on accumulating, means positive plate negative charge trapped will go on attracting towards positive plate, and reverse will happen for the positive ions. They will just get attracted towards the negative plate. So when you can say there is accumulation of charge at an interfacial locations between the two materials or between two regions, because there are different regions. What is the region? Suppose dipole moment is in one particular direction, you can say that is the region in that material. So that is accumulation of charges might be between two materials or between two regions within a material because of an external field. And this can occur where there is a compound dielectric material, and when there are two electrodes are connected in dielectric material, means when electric field is applied. So watch this to understand space charge polarization. In case of no field, it will look like that, and when field will be there, so particular you can just see the charges.
The next and last polarization is called space charge polarization, and this type of polarization occur due to the accumulation of charges at the electrode or at the interface in multiple material. तो ये क्या है, जब इलेक्ट्रॉन बहुत सारे चार्ज इकट्ठे हो जाते हैं तो उनसे जो पोलराइजेशन होता है, तो उन पोलराइजेशन में हम कहते हैं स्पेस चार्ज पोलराइजेशन, कि व्हेन इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड इज अप्लाइड टू द डाइलेक्ट्रिक मटेरियल, यदि किसी भी डाइलेक्ट्रिक मटेरियल पे जब हम इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड अप्लाइड करते हैं तो जो एक्यूमुलेशन ऑफ चार्ज है इलेक्ट्रोड पे या उनके इंटरफेस पे इन द मल्टीफेज इलेक्ट्रॉन टेक प्लेस ड्यू टू द सडन चेंज इन कंडक्टिविटी, तो वो चेंज हो जाते हैं। तो इससे क्या होगा कि द आयन डिफ्यूज ओवर एप्रिसिएबल डिस्टेंस इन रिस्पॉन्स टू द अप्लाइड फील्ड। तो क्या होगा कि आयन डिफ्यूज करेंगे, एक दूसरे में डिफ्यूज करेंगे जैसे जैसे इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड बढ़ाएंगे या कम करेंगे, तो दैट गिविंग राइज टू द रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ चार्ज इन डाइलेक्ट्रिक मीडियम। तो कम या ज्यादा इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड करने से जो चार्ज का डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन है वो चेंज हो जाता है, रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूट हो जाता है। तो दिस टेंडेंसी ऑफ रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ चार्ज इन डाइलेक्ट्रिक मीडियम in the presence of applied electric field is known as the space charge polarization, या उसी को बोलते हैं interfacial polarization, and this space charge polarization is not significant in most of the dielectric material। जैसे कि हमने पहले वाले केस में, इस केस में देख रहे हैं कि जब मोलिक्यूल्स हैं नेगेटिव पॉजिटिव सब हैं, जैसे इसको इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड में यहाँ पे हम जब रखेंगे तो मोस्टली पॉजिटिव आयन एक तरफ हो जाएंगे या मोस्टली नेगेटिव आयन एक तरफ होंगे, रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन होंगे। तो ये जो रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन चार्जेस का है इसी को बोलते हैं स्पेस चार्ज polarization।
Now we will see what are ferroelectric materials. So name only implies ferro and electric. So you might have heard ferromagnetic material. So there is a quite analogy between ferromagnetic and ferroelectric materials. So they are analogous to each other. So you can say that materials which are similar to ferromagnetic material exhibits a spontaneous polarization. Means how it is different than polar material? In case of polar material, dipole moments exist in absence of electric field. So spontaneous means what? Spontaneous means themselves without applying electric field, without applying external force. Themselves they have dipole moments. They are polar materials. But in case of polar material, polarization may be zero due to the resultant of the dipole moments. If they are directed, dipole moments are randomly arranged in random fashion, then net dipole moments, resultant dipole moment will be zero. So polarization will be zero. But there are some materials which are having spontaneous polarization. Spontaneous means themselves. So even if electric field is absent, no external force is applied, they do have dipole moments, but resultant dipole moment is not zero. So they do have spontaneous polarization. So ferroelectric material have spontaneous polarization. It means that in absence of electric field, polarization is there And when you will apply electric field, then polarization will be very high. And polarization will be proportional to the electric field. But that relationship is different between ferroelectric material and other material. Because in ferroelectric material, polarization will be more. So that is ferroelectric materials. And what is ferroelectricity? Ferroelectricity is a characteristics of certain materials, means ferroelectric materials that have a spontaneous electric polarization. So ferroelectricity is a characteristic, and the ferroelectric materials are the materials who have spontaneous polarization. And ferroelectricity is a characteristics of certain materials that have a spontaneous electric polarization, and that can be reversed by the application of external electric field. Why they will reverse? Why polarization will be reversed? Because if polarity will change, positive will become negative and negative side will become positive, then dipole moments will reorient, because there is a creation of dipole moments due to the attraction between external applied field and the charges. So definitely when you will change electric field, dipole moments direction will change. Okay. So now here you can just see Rutuja's activity. She had done it. So we will again use it now.
Good morning to one and all. My name is Rutuja Jimne from SA Electrical, and I am going to perform a presentation on ferroelectric materials guided by Dr. Dheen ma'am. Let's see what is ferroelectric materials. Ferroelectric materials are extensively used in capacitors and almost all types of switches. These are some images.
Why ferroelectric materials will be used in capacitor? See, capacitor we want to store the charge, and when polarization is more, means charge are separated. So that is dipole moments are more, polarization is more. So capacitor storing capability will be more, and therefore ferroelectric materials are mostly used in capacitor. You have to remember application of materials also.
Of ferroelectric materials. Now let's discuss the properties of ferroelectric materials. Crystal symmetry. The lattice structure in ferroelectric materials show crystal symmetry. This means they are joined together to form a point of group which consists of 32 points, out of which 21 do not have center of symmetry. This is the crystal symmetry of ferroelectric materials. Here are some more properties of ferroelectric material. Now let's discuss the types of ferroelectric materials. Barium titanate, lead titanate, lead zirconate titanate, lead magnesium niobate are some types of ferroelectric materials. Here are some images of them. Let's see what are the applications of ferroelectric materials. First, capacitors. Capacitors are manufactured by barium titanate, which is a ferromagnetic material. Second, storage memories. Storage memories are also composed of ferroelectric materials. They are volatile in nature. Third, optical memory devices. Many optical devices technologies are using ferroelectric material, from which PLZT is the most preferred ferroelectric material. Fourth, waveguides. The material used in waveguides are also ferroelectric in nature, as it carries electromagnetic waves. Fifth, displacement transducer. Ferroelectric materials are also used in pressure sensors. These pressure sensors are also called as displacement transducers. This was all about ferroelectric materials.
So
Good morning to
Rutuja has explained that ferroelectric materials, examples, properties and applications also. So now let us say difference between dielectric materials and ferroelectric materials. Okay. So I already told you, just try to remember in difference forms so that you can just write down properties and applications. So dielectric materials, now you know polarization is a linear function of electric field. Because when electric field will increase, then polarization will go on increasing. Constant of proportionality is polarizability. We have just seen it. But what happens in ferroelectric materials? I told you polarization will be somewhat higher than that applied electric field, because initially also there will be polarization, and so some part will be proportional to electric field, but some part of polarization was already there. So it is called as history. What is the history of the material? Whether that material was initially polarized, whether it was not polarized, and then what will be total polarization. So it depends upon history also. So you cannot say that polarization in ferroelectric material is a linear function of electric field. Okay, but it you can say it will be different. Now dielectric materials polarization is not determined by the applied electric field E alone. So E is not only the factor which affects on polarization. So you have to see on what factors polarizability depends, means permittivity depends. Number of factors are there. Number of molecules per unit volume are important. But in these ferroelectric materials, polarization is not determined by applied electric field alone, but it also depends upon previous history of the metal. Because I told you, suppose now I will take barium titanate. Okay. It is a ferroelectric material, and now to barium titanate, it will be having some spontaneous polarization. Okay, therefore it is ferroelectric material. Now I will apply electric field that crystal, that barium titanate, I will apply electric field. So what will happen? Polarization will be different. It will increase. And now just I will remove electric field. So still permanent polarization will be different than that was earlier, you know, because whenever electric field will be reduced zero, it doesn't mean that water polarization was created due to applied electric field that will become zero. That will also get stored. Therefore, such materials are used for capacitor and another purpose, means transducers, and just you have seen that memory devices also, because now it depends upon electric field. Whatever direction you will change, they will go on changing. But history is also important. Okay. Now spontaneous polarization does not exist. Dielectric material spontaneous polarization does not exist, but in ferroelectric material spontaneous polarization exists. Actually, ferroelectric material are type of dielectric materials only, but when we say ferroelectric, that is some different than dielectric, additional properties. All dielectric materials are ferroelectric materials. All dielectric materials are ferroelectric materials, but all ferroelectric materials are not dielectric materials. So this is mostly confusing part. You have to remember, all ferroelectric materials are not dielectric materials. It means that there are some ferroelectric materials which are not from the class of dielectric materials. But all dielectric materials are ferroelectric materials. Means whatever dielectric material you see, that will have ferroelectricity. Used in capacitors. Okay, they are used in capacitors, and these are also used in capacitor, but mostly amplifiers, because they will amplify it. Enhance effect is there. Storage devices and condensers and transducers. Examples are oil, ceramics, paper, barium titanate, rochili salt, dihydrogen phosphate. She told you different examples also. So that is the polarization. Now I just want to tell you, it is now not in too much depth in your syllabus, because earlier there used to be large equations and principles, graphs and this. But here you might be knowing hysteresis loop for magnetic material. Now the same hysteresis loop will be for ferroelectric materials also. So this is known as hysteresis. Meaning of hysteresis is lagging behind. Okay. So now we'll see what characteristics ferroelectric materials have when you will apply electric field. What will be polarization produced in the ferroelectric material? I told you it depends upon the history. So let us see that. So initially when electric field is zero, you can say that it will start from here. When you are going increasing electric field intensity, polarization will go on increasing. Okay, so this is not zero. Try to remember, this point will be not zero. When electric field is zero, polarization will not be zero. So it is cutting on y-axis. Y-axis is polarization. So what is this polarization? Suppose this polarization is known as without electric field polarization was there. Okay, so it is also you can consider this point is not zero. Now when you will go on increasing electric field intensity, polarization will go on increasing. But just now I told it is not the linear function. So first part will be linear and then polarization will go on increasing more than linear and then it will saturate. So after some time you go on increasing electric field intensity, polarization will not increase. It will remain constant because material will reach to the saturation point. Okay. So this is the maximum polarization. This will be maximum. So you can write here P maximum. This will be maximum polarization to which material can polarize with the applied electric field. You go on increasing applied field, after some stage there will be no increase. So this is known as saturation point. This polarization point will be known as maximum polarization. Now as it is not changing, what we'll go on doing? We will just go on reducing electric field intensity. So electric field intensity, suppose this is the maximum point, then go on reducing electric field intensity. Now this. Now polarization will not trace the path earlier. So you will say that polarization increase and it must take this same path. No. So when you will start reducing electric intensity, there will be different graph. Okay, so this. Now you will get this much polarization. Even if electric field intensity is 0, polarization will remain there. Now see what was earlier. When the material was not given electric field, spontaneous polarization was very less. Now you have given electric field to that material. Now electric field is 0, but still now this will be remnant polarization. And now you take this material and just see what is polarization. You will get so big polarization. That is what I have said, that polarization is a function of history. Now history of this material will be that intensity electric field was applied earlier. And as electric field was applied earlier in its lifetime of that material, now spontaneous polarization or the remnant polarization is more. Now you go on changing the direction of electric field, means positive to negative, negative to positive. Now you will just go on reducing the polarization because you are applying electric field intensity in reverse direction. So whatever this polarization will be there, that will go on changing, reducing, because reversal of electric field. And when polarization in that material will be 0, it will be 0 even if it is ferroelectric material, because you are applying electric field in reverse direction and by external force you are making polarization 0. So this is known as coercive force. See, this is known as coercive force and written as EC. Electric intensity is required to make polarization 0. So it is known as coercive electric field or coercive force, coercive electric field. So all these terms you have to remember. And then if now it will become 0, still you are now changing electric field in reverse direction. Now it will go on increasing, but in negative direction. Earlier it was increasing in the positive direction. Now polarization will go on increasing in negative direction. So, okay, this is negative P. So here it should be negative. Okay, mistake is there. It will go on increasing and this will be maximum polarization. Maximum peak polarization, but in reverse direction. Now again you just try to reduce electric field which was applied in reverse direction. You just try to reduce it. Negative electric field intensity, electric field, you just go on reducing now and the curve will be traced like this. And at this position, even if electric field, applied electric field is 0, polarization is there, remnant polarization, but in negative sign. Earlier it was this, now here it is negative polarization. So here also it depends. Now what was the history of material? History of the material was electric field was applied, again it was reversed, and therefore now polarization, remnant polarization is in negative direction. So there is a terms positive remnant polarization, negative remnant polarization, and to make it zero again you need to apply electric field. So this much electric field will require to make remnant polarization zero. So again it is coercive electric field. So you have to remember many steps for this hysteresis loop. It is same as ferromagnetic material. Here it will be magnetization. Okay. And now here it is polarization. That is the only difference. So now it is a function of electric field to the polarization. You remember all these terms. You can now see the properties of some ferroelectric materials. So examples are Rochelle salt, dihydrogen phosphate, barium titanate, triglycerin sulfate, sodium nitrate, lead titanate, and gas. So chemical formula, you can remember with chemical formula or this, or you can remember both. Now Curie temperature is there, that I will tell you what is Curie temperature. So property of that material is different. Okay. And spontaneous polarization is also, you can remember it. Okay. So just watch this video now about ferroelectric materials.
Hello everyone, my name is Matthew Nauman and the main subject of this video is ferroelectricity and ferroelectric materials. So what are ferroelectrics? Ferroelectrics are certain dielectric materials that collectively have spontaneous electric polarization. This means that the material can be electrically polarized or have an electric dipole moment without an external electric field, and the polarization can be switched. In ferroelectric materials, their molecules each carry electric dipole moments which collectively and spontaneously align to form a polarized material. Very similar to this is the concept of ferromagnetism and ferromagnets, which we commonly just call magnets. Just like how a bar magnet has a magnetic field, a ferroelectric material has an electric dipole moment where one end is positively charged and the other is negatively charged. A good example of a material whose molecules have dipole moments but is not ferroelectric is water. In a water molecule, since the oxygen atom is slightly negative and the hydrogen atoms are slightly positive, this produces a net molecular dipole moment. However, the molecular dipole moments of every molecule in water don't spontaneously align, so water is not polarized. A prototypical material whose molecular dipole moments do align and is ferroelectric is lead titanate. Lead titanate has a non-centrosymmetric crystal structure. This is because its ferroelectric properties arise from the displacement of the titanium atom from its oxygen octahedron center, as can be seen in Figure A. The off-center titanium atom is positively charged, which results in a net dipole moment for the crystal cell oriented downward. Thanks to lead titanate's crystal structure, the crystal cell's dipoles are oriented in the same direction, which makes lead titanate ferroelectric. The direction of charge can also be switched if an electric field is applied. If a field is applied in the direction of P, the titanium atom would be attracted upward to point A, resulting in a reverse dipole moment. This process carries up to the larger scales of the material, so through this method, the polarization temperature T, the crystal structure is deformed and the titanium atom becomes placed in the center of the cell. The charges of all the atoms then cancel out, and there's no longer dipole, the paraelectric property. There are a few key differences between ferroelectricity and paraelectricity. In Figure A, when an electric field is applied to a ferroelectric material, it becomes polarized, and the crystal structure of the material is permanently deformed, even after the field returns to zero, leaving a remnant polarization.
Now what I want to tell you, say I just explain you how it will go on increasing, then why it will not take the same path, and why it will be negative. So here you can see dipole moment. It is happening in the material due to the orientation and reorientation of the dipole moment. So you can see dipole moments will be oriented this way, but here it will be oriented in opposite direction. So that is the orientation and reorientation of the dipole moment. Now you just see, this is just by changing from 0 to the maximum. So imagine a sine wave. So 0 to maximum, and then again it reduces. So that is this path. And again half sine wave just changes in reverse direction. So when one sine wave will be applied, material will exhibit so much changes inside it. So this cycle, this hysteresis loop is for one cycle, AC, sinusoidal cycle. So one cycle will exhibit one loop and our frequency is 50 Hertz. So when you will apply AC supply to the material, 50 times such a cyclic changes will go on happening. Dipole moments will be this. So much things are happening in the material. Whether we imagine looking at outside, we say no, nothing is happening. Materials are not live material, but so many changes are happening inside the material, and therefore they will constitute loss because you are making dipole moments inside the material to change several times in 1 millisecond. You can say 50 Hertz means 50 cycle per second within a 1 second. Such a 50 cycle means 50 hysteresis loop means so many changes happening in the material, and this will require loss. It will create loss because how these dipole moments will change due to external force, but some force, some energy is required in their orientation, and therefore material will be heated and losses will occur.
This cycle will be talked about more later. This is back to zero. Instantaneous polarization are called domains. These domains.
No, I told you there are different regions inside the material. So consider this is a one material or lattice of one material, and dipole moment in this part will be upward. So this is called as domain. But in this part, it will be towards the left side. In this part, it will be towards right side. So if you'll consider any lattice, any crystal, any material, chip, anything, inside that there will be different regions, and these different regions having particular dipole moments in one particular fashion, then this is called as domain. So this is first domain, this is second domain, this is third domain, and when you will not apply electric field, they will be arranged randomly, and therefore polarization may be 0. But in ferroelectric material, you will get resultant. And when you will apply electric field, all these dipole moment may change. Means that depends upon how much electric field intensity you are applying. If it is very large, you will be very successful to change all dipole moments in direction of applied electric field. So now see, polarization will be very higher.
Are separated by domain walls. Domains in ferroelectrics range in size from only a few nanometers across to a micron. Even though each domain has its own net spontaneous polarization, the polarization of all the domains may cancel out and the material as a whole in completely different directions. The ferroelectric domains can be aligned by applying an external electric field. On the right, all of the domains are aligned in the same direction, demonstrating the x-axis is the applied electric field and the y-axis is the polarization of a sample ferroelectric material. We call this diagram the PE loop. A pristine ferroelectric material has misaligned domains and therefore no net polarization, as can be seen at the center of the diagram. The arrows and the squares indicate direction of the net polarization in each domain. As an electric field is applied, the domains within the material will begin to align in the opposite direction of the applied field. For example, if an electric field is oriented with positive upward, the negative ends of the material will consist of a single domain and so cannot be polarized any further, even if the electric field is strengthened. This is known as saturation polarization. As the electric field is... Hello everyone, my name...
So students, that is about ferroelectric materials. Now what are the applications? Ferroelectric materials are used larger in capacitors with smaller size because they will be higher capability to store the charge. Okay, and permittivity can be changed on changes in the magnetic directions of electric magnitude of directions of electric field. Very thin ferroelectric crystals can be used for computer memories. Why it will be used for computer memory? See, you can apply in particular fashion, dipole moments will remain in that direction. So these properties helping for storage devices. They are also used as frequency generators and as detectors of electromagnetic radiations and ultrasonic waves, magnetostrictive transducers and magnetic amplifiers. Okay. Now electromechanical transducers, they will be also used, and resonance disc type material also will be used. Now tomorrow we will just study piezoelectric materials, but now to understand piezoelectric materials, you have to remember ferroelectric materials. Then we will able to compare between ferro, piezo and pyro also. Okay. So in piezoelectric materials, you can just apply stress, strain, and then electric field will be produced. So there is difference. Just watch. I want to make you just watch this about piezo, and then we will again discuss tomorrow. So that I think you will go.
Piezoelectricity. At the end of this lesson, you will be able to a morning routine. Malini walks up to the kitchen to make a hot cup of coffee. As she ignites the gas.
Now see this lighter you are using now, that is the application of piezoelectricity, because when you are applying stress to that, electricity or fire is produced. So that is the application of that. So this is the way you have to remember properties. If you will remember properties, then you can remember applications. Okay. So tomorrow we'll see piezoelectricity in more detail. And now any difficulty you want to ask me, students? Students, any difficulty?